I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the South Kohala Action Committee meeting, and it will now come to order. It's Thursday, November 20th, 2025, and the time is 5:02. This meeting is held in person and by interactive conference tech. The meeting will also be recorded on Zoom. And as a reminder, per sunshine law, Action Committee members appearing remotely must keep their cameras on and announce anyone who is with them, except for minors in their location. Please note, for anyone needing the meeting packet, there's a QR code on the last page of the agenda that you can scan to access. We're going to do roll call right now. Chair is excused today. I'm Vice Chair Scott Nagata. Committee member Karen Anderson.
Here.
Okay, great. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Committee member Josephine Tanimoto. Is she online? Is that her right there? No. Yeah. Is that? One, two, three, four, five. No? Okay, so we have Karen, Josephine.
She said she's going to be late.
But she's going to be late. Okay. Committee member Julia Alnos. Great. Great. Thank you. Committee member Ruth Smith.
I'm here.
You are here. Great. Nice
Who's
to
that?
see you. Which one are you?
Ruth?
Yeah, I'm Ruth.
Oh.
I'm
I would
actually,
you don't see.
yeah, I'm not sure why that's happening right now,
Okay.
but I am here.
Great. Great. Thank you. Committee member Kevin McLaughlin. Not here. Committee member Bambi Lau. Hi. Nice to see you. Committee member Owana Wilcox.
Present.
Here. Great. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's quorum. Is that correct? I believe. We have quorum then? We're good? Okay. Okay, so let's see, going to the next part. From the planning department, planning staff, Mariam Palma and Jessica. Jessica's not here today.
Okay. She's on Zoom.
Oh, she's on Zoom. Okay. Okay, great. And some housekeeping. Please make sure your cell phones are turned off or on silent mode. And if there's anyone here who'd like to testify, please fill out the sign-up form and give it to our staff. Zoom testifiers can send a message in the chat to the Zoom host indicating which item they wish to testify on. And we ask that everyone please state your name before speaking. To all of us who are attending here in person, please remember that to speak towards the OWL camera, which is this little guy right there, so everyone in Zoom can hear. Aloha etiquette for today's meeting: maintain an open and positive attitude and listen to understand. Everyone has a right to share and be comfortable in their own ideas. It's okay to disagree as long as it is done respectfully. If you need to argue the issue and not against a person. And one person speaks at a time with no side conversations. Try to limit distractions by turning cell phones off and not doing outside work during a meeting, and an appreciation of everyone's time. Please honor time limits. Okay, so the next part is the approval of the minutes. The time is 5:06. And the committee now consider approving the August 21st, 2025 minutes, which is our last meeting in Waikoloa. Can I ask for a motion to approve the August 21-25 minutes as circulated? I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yes, I make a motion. I
Oh,
accept
okay.
the meeting minutes.
Okay. Okay, I second, or, yeah, I'll second. That's okay. Okay,
I have an objection about the minutes.
Okay.
And I wanted to ask respectfully, how is the content of the minutes presented? Because there was a lot of stuff that was brought up that wasn't specifically in the minutes, i.e. my request to have new business put on there for the second access road, and only part of it got on there, and
for
also
the last
talking about...
meeting? For the last meeting or for this
Correct,
meeting?
it's on the recording. I went and looked it up to make sure I knew it was there, but so I just wanted to see how we go about ascertaining what actually gets put on the minutes, because otherwise it disappears unless you go look at the video.
Yeah. I
So,
hand that over to,
So minutes are handled by planning department staff. As of right now, planning doesn't have a clerk. We lost that with our CZM funding that we lost. And so right now, the individual planners have been in charge of writing the minutes.
okay,
I'm working with the planners to kind of fix the procedures of how we do the minutes in
Okay.
terms of efficiency, because also planners doing minutes doesn't really work out too well for us. But we also use a combination of taking the recording, uploading it to a service that gives us a transcription, and then we summarize those transcripts using Chat GPT or other AI technology. That's kind of how we've been, and even that process takes us a day to do a meeting's minutes. So that's kind of where it's at, and that's definitely why you'll see those kind of pukas and that lack of standard, because it's not a clerk or a secretary actually doing the minutes.
and it susses well?
And, sorry?
It susses well? It picks up everybody's,
It-
you
it-
get a
there-
great
we
transcription
have
of
to-
everything from
yeah.
AI? Okay,
It does pretty okay as long as everybody's talking into the mics good.
correct, okay.
So that it can get picked up in the video.
Okay.
There's definitely some bugs with, the Hawaiian words and things like that.
Yeah.
But it does, the service we found, we tested a bunch of them, does the best out of all of them.
Okay,
So-
and so it strictly comes from the planning department? There's not the chair or the vice chair or someone on the
No.
committee that would be a
No, we
second
got
set of eyes on it?
scolded for doing that. They were doing that during COVID. They had volunteers committee, and we actually got scolded by Corporation Counsel because then we were taking away work from the clerical staff. Yeah. So
Thank you.
it's an interesting subject.
So are we going to continue with the vote?
Should we-
The vote with,
continue there, though? What do we do there? She
I'll
had an-
approve after
You have
learning
an
how it went.
objection, so
What was the,
we're okay with approving it, or?
I think,
I-
where's the motion?
Or-
standing?
I still stand.
Okay.
Accept, yeah.
So to accept that.
And I just said I approve after hearing how it went, because I just had,
Okay.
I had comments on it, because
Yeah.
I'm not
So
happy.
Sorry, we
motion
didn't,
by Committee Member Wilcox and seconded by Committee Member Olive.
Okay.
And then, is there any discussion?
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, is there any other discussion on that, then?
One other thing, James Hustis, or last month it was Kendra Bruno was in, and we should have recordings on official people, like we should be putting that into the minutes so we have it for future reference. I'd like to add that if that's allowable, because then we have something on record and we know what our legislator was telling us, or his assistant. Thank you.
It's a fair request.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna go with that. Yeah, we're gonna take a vote. All in favor for the minutes for last week?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed?
Did Ruth vote?
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
Is Ruth on? She's on, right?
I heard one aye, and I'm not
Sure,
sure
I think
who
it was Karen.
I think that
I
was,
heard two.
I don't see Ruth.
Jojo. This
Oh.
is Jojo.
it was Jojo.
Oh, Jojo.
Can you turn your camera on by chance? Because
No, it's distracting.
You
It's
really want to
just-
look at me, huh? Okay.
Well,
And Ruth needs
it's
to
just
turn
for
hers
our
on, too.
quorum, because we have to have visually see you
And Ruth.
and yeah. Where
Okay,
is-
apologize in advance.
Which one is Ruth?
Where's Ruth?
I am talking on my mic, but when I press on the video, I'm not coming up, and I don't know why.
Okay, all right, we're good with JoJo being there though. Okay, all right, moving on. Sorry, any opposed for the meetings? Okay, so motion carries unanimously. Okay, now isn't it the same one?
There's 2 minutes.
Oh, is there 2 minutes? I'm sorry. Okay, so actually, okay, so there are 2 meeting minutes that we're talking about. August 21st, which is 2 months ago. And then now we are moving on to September 28th, 2025. Sorry, that one was in Waikoloa. Is that correct? Okay. So the one before was in Waimea, and then this one is in Waikoloa. So for last meeting's minutes, can I may I ask for a motion to approve September 18th meeting minutes as circulated?
Move to approve.
Okay. And a second?
I second.
Okay. By Bambi? Okay, so any discussion for this latest meeting?
No, just to clarify, my discussion
Just-
was regarding
right.
September's, not August's.
I'm sure that they're trying to do it as best as possible.
Thank you.
So all in favor, say aye.
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 Hi.
Jojo?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jojo. Karen? And who else didn't vote yet? Ruth, we're good?
Did Ruth?
Did Ruth vote? I think we lost her.
Ruth?
I'm here.
Oh,
I actually turned my camera on,
okay.
but I don't see it making any difference.
Okay.
So
I'm not sure where you.
I apologize.
Is that everybody? Okay.
She voted?
All right. Did you vote for the minutes for last month?
I wasn't present, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I guess motion carries. Okay. Okay. Moving on to part 3, public testimony on the agenda items. Time is 5:15, and the committee will now call for statements from the public. As stated in the published agenda, members of the public may provide testimony regarding any agenda item now or at the time the agenda item is called to order. If there's anyone here who'd like to testify, please fill out the form on the front table and give it to our staff. In-person testimony, we have any, do we have any testimony from, you're welcome to. Okay. Okay, so we don't have any public testimony. Any Zoom testimony? Anybody on Zoom would like to? I think they're all off right now, so, okay. So no Zoom testimony either. Okay. Moving on to business. Time is 5:16, and committee will move on to business number 1. Item number 1 was a tsunami report and mahalo letters, thank you letters. I've requested that the committee send out letters of appreciation to schools and organizations for the willingness to serve as evacuation centers for the tsunami evacuation on July 29th, and to share out the drafted tsunami report that I drew up. Is there anyone who'd like to provide testimony on this item who has not already done so? Okay. So there are, just to let you know that there are letters to several organizations in Waimea and Waikoloa who took in evacuees during the tsunami evacuation. Waikoloa School took in a lot of people, actually, and I think it was somewhat in thanks to you, Julia, for kind of kicking people in the butt there and getting people moving.
I just provided the bedding and water and all kinds of other stuff.
All right.
Food.
HBA also brought in people. They housed people overnight. Some of the other ones. This facility here, which can only handle was specifically 90 people, but I believe that there was more than 90 people here. There's also Parker School that brought in about 50 people, and Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints also bringing some people, about 75. Mono Christian brought in, I can't remember, but about 75 as well, I believe. Mono Christian Ohana, right behind Kahila Theater. Offhand. Oh, also down in Waikoloa, the new development, the lofts, they actually housed a few families as well. Some calls went through from the school looking for places for some at-risk families, and so they opened up the doors for that temporarily. But yeah, so they have some. Yes.
Can we get a total head count on how many people came to all the places in Waimea that probably could have stayed in
It's
Waikoloa
actually
if
in
we
the-
had a community gym, hardened shelter?
Yeah. So
Lots of less traffic on the road.
Waikoloa had the most, but
Total.
overall, as far as I could tell, talking to each of these organizations, there was about 880, 900 people that were accommodated, much more than they probably were initially planning for. But that was just opening up this, thinking that they were going to be able to get this place. But yeah, close to 900. There might have been more. I can't.
Yeah.
In Waikoloa, there was a lot of private residents that helped out.
There's a few,
Just,
yeah.
Excuse me. Bringing in supplies and everything, water and
And taking them home.
yeah, and then also there were people that were camped out at the parking lots at the shopping centers. I mean, those were full. All the shopping centers were full, their parking lots. So
We didn't even have a count on that.
yeah, and there's a lot of people. I mean, I talked to people at the resorts, and they were telling me that there was people that came from the airport and finding out halfway here that they had nowhere to go. Basically, they were getting diverted and would not be able to go. So they were like they were desperate, trying to figure out what to do there.
And they had no luggage.
And yeah, no luggage. Yes, some people stranded at the airport, and yeah, it was kind of interesting that happened. But if I could make a motion to send those letters to those organizations, each of those letters are in the agenda, in the back of that. We should also include our public officials too, but I didn't do that. I hadn't done that, but at least these organizations, if we could send these out, and just as an appreciation for their efforts,
Do it, Scott. Thank you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to send that out. Does anybody second?
I second.
Okay, thank you, Bambi.
Could we add asking each one of these people how we could improve and do better the next time? So
Oh, yes.
add it to the letter, yeah?
Yeah, in talking with each of them, they did have suggestions, and I do have that on the end of the report.
Oh, okay.
Some of their suggestions. Suggestions would be to activate CERT automatically, and so that they, even if they're not needed, that they have the practice, that they are able to actually, what do you call it, exercise their responsibilities when the things come. Because we do have first responders, but actually the people that are actually right there are the first responders. We do have the professional first responders, but you're actually the first responders. And, you know, you act to get those first responders, the professionals here.
Right.
Excuse me. So, yeah, they did have some suggestions. They were asking for some supplies that might be available. Bedding. Suggestion was to ask the resorts for slightly used when they're retiring some of the bedding, blankets or whatever, and to be able to store that in several different places. So.
I think if I'm not mistaken, Monarch Christian did say that they ordered some more cots.
Cots.
I'm not sure if that is
Yeah.
true, but I did
Yeah.
hear it.
Okay. Sorry. Better?
Yeah.
Oh,
me?
Mana Christian did say that they ordered some more cots. How many they did, I'm not sure. But, but they, most of theirs were broken. And they did take the spillover from the center after the center, Waimea Community Center closed. So there's that.
Okay.
Did they finalize how this information is going to get out to the public when this happens again? Because I know we brought it up when we had the meeting here with Talmadge. Did you hear anything?
I haven't heard anything, and I didn't go into the report. I kind of left that for civil defense to suss out on their.
I know we
their
went to
responsibilities.
the HTA meeting in Kono, and I did say, we need to have this emergency preparedness somewhere while they're coming over on the plane, you know? I mean, stuff like that, but yeah, thanks.
Okay. Okay. We need to take a vote on that or not? Yes. Okay, so all in favor of sending out the letters, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Jojo opposed?
No,
Is that correct? Oh,
I,
okay, all right. Okay. All right, thank you, Jojo.
I'm sorry, Julia, what was the addition that you added to that motion? What else did you want to see in the letters?
To put it in the letter, but Scott,
can do better.
he had done,
Oh, okay.
spoken to people, but
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything, you know, I mean, if you don't have to add anything, because you've got everything.
Yeah, I tried to cover as much as possible. Suggestions, capacity, how many actually were accommodated, and how many we could possibly accommodate. There's and these facilities are scattered throughout Waimea, and even on the west side we have Department of Hawaiian Homelands from the state, the Hawaiian Hall, and Kanu, their big gym in the back there. So, you know, it's nice to know that we could, you know, you call upon that if necessary. Not likely, but it's always a possibility.
Yeah.
So I've included that as capacity, as potential capacity. And there's probably other places too, other state facilities. I mean, by the courthouse. I didn't include that, and then there's got to be other places too.
How about traffic concerns, where you have traffic patterns? Is everybody going to go up Waikoloa Road to get off the
Yeah,
Mackay Road?
that was
Because you're going to have people coming home and trying to, whatever,
Right.
you know.
Yeah,
should think
I
of that.
mentioned that in the report. I didn't have a solution because traffic is not something I really want to delve into so
Yeah.
much. Just basically because there's so many other people that are already looking at that, and I didn't want to stir the pot more, kind of thing.
Who's looking at it?
The police and what do you call it? Civil defense. So I'm assuming that they're kind of sussing that out right now. So, but again, I didn't want to delve and get in there so much. So
May I ask, of the 880, how many were, or do you know, were hotel guests?
I'd say the majority.
Majority? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say the majority of them were. Yeah, if not all.
Does
I
that
don't.
make sense if these hotels would partner with these spaces
That's
and
why I'm
places?
asking the
Yeah.
question,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I thought they were supposed to be third
Um,
floor and higher.
yeah.
Not everybody
defense
has directed
capability,
us
yeah.
to
Yeah.
evacuate.
When I did talk.
Evacuate the whole resort.
Yeah, when I did talk to Waikoloa School, the principal did say that Maunalani basically took a truck and filled it up with water, water bottles, and some supplies that they could just pull together real quick, kind of thing. And they brought it up to Waikoloa Elementary, or Waikoloa School.
Fairmont.
That is kind of what the resorts are geared to do.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do within their hotel, right? Your culinary team and who else was involved in it? Banquets or whoever is available would empty out the kitchen, the storage, and will take all of that food up to where everyone evacuates to, and including their, their stoves, refrigeration, all of that. So all of that is already being sent up to wherever the evacuees go. So to partner with these sites would be the best thing, I think, because if Maunalani is going to do that, they should go up to a site. So maybe majority of their people go there, right? And like Hilton, we have done it 3 times. I mean, a hotel with 1,200 rooms, trying to get them out of there, you can't do that all the time. But those are the things that I think would be very, very relevant to this whole situation, is making sure that these community people are partnering with these resorts, so the resorts know who to contact and where to send their people, instead of scattering them all over. And then people who come, right, the community can be prepared for like 80, 90 coming from Maunalani or so on and so forth, you know? I mean, those things should be mapped out.
Well,
planned.
Stephanie Donahoe, the chair or director of the Kona Kohala Resort Association, should be working with HISPA on that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Actually, kind of dovetailing in there, just kind of going over some of the suggestions. One of the suggestions was to set up a crisis go group directly from civil defense, and including all the resorts and all the organizations that have been popped up, so that there's more of a communication, a better communication between that, and because it did seem like that was some problems that were happening there. So that's one of the suggestions I put on there. That's actually the first suggestion, because they actually these organizations do have their own crisis go
Right.
groups. A lot of them do, and so if civil defense were to just do that, I don't know how civil defense does that right now, but this is one that these people, these ones that are acting on the ground, that's what they are using. So it might be good if civil defense could implement that.
I can tell you exactly what happened.
I'm sure you have some bigger insight there.
So we knew it was coming. We didn't get word on where to evacuate, because each hotel has an evacuation plan. Majority is to evacuate up. It's vertical evacuation. But we had to wait for civil defense to give us direction on where they wanted us to evacuate. It was supposed to have come at a certain time. 3 o'clock, we found out that we had to evacuate the resort. So our normal plan that all hotels had was thrown out the window, and we just had to get up and go and evacuate wherever we could. That's what the problem. So I think that, like everyone here is saying, we need some sort of plan, a better plan, in partnership with civil defense, in partnership with the hotels, KCRA, whoever it may be, HLTA. And I think it's important for us in this sense because it affects our communities, right? Everybody had to jump up and help, and that was a good thing, but it affected the traffic flow. The road right outside of the Waikoloa Beach Resort was congested for a long, long time. And as I mentioned at another meeting, I live in Kauai. So as a homeowner that lives right on the beach, if I had to try and get home to get to my sons and the road was congested like that, I would be in a panic. If it was a tsunami that was happening right away, to be able to evacuate my family, it would be hard. I wouldn't be able to get there. So I think that we need some sort of plan. We need it right away and not when the tsunami is going to happen, just at that moment say, okay, this is going to happen. We need to plan ahead. And we need to take into consideration the people that live along the coast, the people who are at the hotels trying to get home, and of course the people staying at the hotel, and find a place for each. And not just tell everybody, go up the road, wherever you can go, just go on the side of the road, go to this evacuation site. I think we need to think of something concrete that makes sense for the whole.
Right.
I think so.
Pool
Yeah,
code,
all good
resort
suggestions.
communities,
I mean, because we've lived in it, right? We've done it 3 times. We've been in the thick of things, right, when this happened. So the suggestions coming right from the bull. So I agree. There needs to be concrete plans, right? We cannot just wait who's going to press a button. And if I were in charge, I would, hey, guys, tsunami's coming. We don't know how fast, when it'll hit, but I would start getting people to where they need to be. So that way the roads aren't congested, And like Tommy said, or somebody said, we have like a red, green, or yellow, green zones, right? The red goes first, yellow goes second, and then until you're in the green. According to Talmadge, if you're on Queen K Highway, you're already safe. Okay? Like that. And how can we send that out to our visitors, right? Because I've made a conscious decision as a business owner here or business runner here in Waimea that I'm going to make sure I take care of my low-line residents first before I take care of any tourists. Because I have to take care of our residents here before anyone else. So I've made that conscious decision to do that. And I think everyone else needs to do the same, but our county does need to. And I know that there is the LNR, the HHL, and everybody has land and this, that, and the third, but when something like this happens, someone needs to step to the front of the line and make those decisions and not wait till others make it for them, There's just
There should be
what
a
I think.
QR code at the airports.
QR codes, right?
Statewide. And
QR
people
codes in the
just
back of
can
the
and
hotel
someone can
rooms
get
too.
in,
Yep.
And they can
Yep.
disconnect from it when they're PAL. I mean,
Yeah.
this has come up, it came up with Talmadge here right after the tsunami when we had our
I totally
last
agree.
meeting.
Can put
Put
it,
it on all the county vehicles.
because I cannot find one info or QR code that has anything to do with emergency preparedness
Nope.
that anyone else can see here. I haven't seen it posted anywhere. So that is kind of like something that concerns me when it comes to relaying that information to others,
Yeah.
right? So something like that really needs to be solidified. I mean, we can hum and hover it for the next meeting or two, but action is kind of like what really is needed.
Civil Defense should post every community's emergency evacuation plans on
Correct.
their website, and I've asked them for several years. I don't know if the county wants the liability, that's why they're not doing it. I have no idea. But I've asked them for 5 or 6 years to do it.
Okay.
Maybe we can ask them again.
We could. We will. Okay, go. Okay, hold on, just a sec. Hold on, just a sec. Okay.
Is it my turn?
We'll have James first and then you.
Thank you.
Post the signs for the tsunami inundation zones on the coastline. And also,
At the resort.
for like most of the hotels, all they have to do is evacuate the residents to a floor higher than.
That's what they usually do, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like Waikoloa Hyatt, it's on a cliff already, so it's like 50 feet up already, right? So, I mean, they wouldn't have to evacuate the people, but they just gotta tell them to go to the upper floors.
Yeah, okay, all right.
That was what happened in
Yep.
Honolulu. Everybody left and they were saying shit.
Jojo?
Thank you. Yes, I wanted to share for the Kauai High area. Last month at the South Kohala Traffic Safety Meeting, and I guess Mr. Eustace was at the meeting as well, I did share that it seemed like the discussion at that meeting was access out of the ocean front. Once upon a time, the access road used to go from Kauai High Road at Spencer Park, the national park, and it would continue over to Mauna Kea Beach Hotel, and it would continue through Puakō, and then over to all the hotels and all the way out to behind the Queen's Market in the shopping area. There is a lateral road, but the fire department is the one that closed it all these years. Okay. And at that time, way back in the past, there used to be tsunami signs at the Queen Ka'ahumanu intersections that showed you that the highway was high enough and far away enough for the tsunami zones. So there is another lateral, not just the Queen Ka'ahumanu. The second thing I wanted to bring up that was talked at is with Hawaiian Homelands. We are trying to find an evacuation plan because the harbor is expanding. And after the last 40 years since our subdivisions were, we have people that house themselves in the subdivisions, the gulch is now eroding. And so that's another problem that covers the highway, and then civil defense closes the highway. And there's a problem with trying to get the cargo over those bridges. And then there's also the military. Now that President Trump is in this discussion with China, and everything is all hands on deck. So there's nothing but traffic at the highway. But the military cannot cross Pelikane Bay. They stuck like the containers on the harbor because the highway is closed. And if the bridges break, any of the 6 bridges on Hawaiian homelands, then the mountain road is closed. And all the road from Kohala on the Konepule and the Kauai High Road is closed. And there is no evacuation plan. Now, I will expand that to say the harbor expansion program does not have an alternative road. So for Kauai High, they have put us on the side for all these years. And so we're bringing it out now at all the advisory groups, the government groups, so that people are now looking at it, even including the military, the Pohakuloa, because those traffic, the equipment, and the people, personnel, they got to come out from the harbor. And there is no evacuation. So I want to put it in the CDP minutes so that, we're trying to do something from the community portion, but it's the government that's holding us back, including the civil defense hazard mitigation. They don't have us listed in there. And I myself was there at the last tsunami when the small boat harbor on the north side was dry and the fishes were flopping around in mud and grease and all the pollution that comes from the harbor, whatever hazardous waste they got in the harbor and from across the highway and all that flooding and stuff. So I was there. I saw it. I'm not supposed to be in the harbor, but I wanted to see for myself. I was there when Kevin Costner had his movie, and the same thing happened again. So it's, in my lifetime, I already did 3 times. So I wanted to share that, to put it in a minute so that we work at it together with the government. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you, Jojo. Actually, I think that's agenda number 6, item number 6. a Kauai High Kailapa evacuation road. And has a motion by committee chair.
Actually, no, it's not.
Is that different?
Yes. Kailapa is on one side of the homestead, and what we're talking about is evacuation for everybody from Kohala to
Oh, is it the
Ahumanu
from last time?
intersection. So
I'm sorry.
it's a different subject, yes.
Gotcha. Sorry, that was from last meeting. Sorry, Kauai High. Okay. And that letter was sent out, or we're drafting it? We are drafting a letter we're still drafting that letter, okay, Jojo? But we will have that out for our next meeting.
Scott? This is
Yes.
Ruth.
Yes, Ruth?
I just want to, I was thinking back. So on March the 11th of 2011, right, there was an earthquake in Japan and there was a tsunami watch.
Okay.
And so I can't even remember who called me, but I think it might have been Pete Hoffman. He said, you got to come open up the school. Pete was a councilman then. And so I had a master key, and he and I went down and opened up. It was me and Pete and all the people who came there. One hotel sent up a whole busload of stuff, but we filled the cafeteria, and then I had to go open up the library. We had, I don't know, 400 people under shelter, and then a lot of people just in the parking lot. It concerns me that how this went, is that now 14 years ago, is pretty much where we still are. I find that a little disconcerting. So I just thought I'd weigh in and say we've been here before, and we really do need to make something to change this. Because as you hear all this going on right now, things need to be improved. Oh,
Yes, definitely. In that report, thank you, Ruth. Ruth was a principal at Waikoloa. Were you one of the first principals? Were you the first principal there?
no.
No. Okay.
Art
But you
Souza
were a
was.
principal.
Art Souza was the first principal.
Okay.
No,
but
that's not right. That's not.
Yeah. But
Then Chris
but
goes-
Ruth was a principal there.
She was never a principal.
She wasn't vice principal. What were you? I thought you were vice principal. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Okay, Ruth, we're kind of losing you. But thank you for that information. Oh,
She's gone.
we're kind of losing you there. Just addressing your point, though, I did recommend that in that tsunami report that we look into getting Waikoloa Community Center on the agenda, or on their agenda. So
Yeah, I was.
right next to the school, a property that's owned by Waikoloa Land Company. Land Company, I think.
County.
So,
County.
it was a county now.
I think the county owns, right next to where the library's supposed to go. The county owns that property
Okay.
because they're supposed to build
Okay.
a community center there.
Okay. Okay,
gym.
the school had told me that it was the land company that owned it, so.
I don't think so.
Okay, all right, we'll have to check on that.
Yeah.
I think there was somebody else that,
I just have a question. Sorry for being here. And is there no like action committee for tsunami preparedness or warning system or plans in place?
not that I know of.
Civil defense.
I can just from being here forever, right? There's committees, subcommittees, super subcommittees. So there's like committees after committees after committees. Are they doing what is needed? Yeah, but is it their follow-up and completion? No, we could do better on that. Yeah. This is a committee you'll see, they'll take action.
So the community member want to take another behalf and try to reach out to other
There,
future cities.
I would say apply for this committee.
yeah.
Like,
And,
or it wrote it down, like, why isn't someone doing something?
yeah. That there's,
Serious.
Oftentimes, and it's no blame for anyone else, anybody out there. It gets started, but it never gets followed up. It never gets completed, right? Because something happens, something else happens, and everybody's attention gets turned to that thing, and then of course monies, right, comes into it. So those are just. It doesn't only happen in this county, right? It happens in other counties, but we're just trying to. At this point, because this is just my third meeting being on this committee, right? And so, and I'm a lifer here in Waimea, roots deep, right? So this is so important that being part of the community, with the roots in this community, that we get these things off this agenda that's been lingering for a long time. And that's it. But good. I think you should apply.
I honestly, I don't think that like someone needs to spearhead this because it's better to be proactive than reactive.
Totally. Totally agree.
To the point about having the second access road out of Waikoloa, we chose not to live in Waikoloa. One of the reasons was because of that. There's only one road. We have 3 kids and we got to get out of there in an emergency. It's, so anyway, sorry.
oh, that's great.
I'd like to just add that every 5 years, it's a federal requirement for everybody in there. The county has been working on the hazard mitigation. They started doing meetings last year, and Civil Defense has to update it by, James, is it by the end of December? Or they already submitted, and it's a 5-year plan? Okay, so something about the tsunamis is supposed to be in there, like any kind of hazard that we have. But
Yeah.
just adding that, it's a requirement, a federal requirement, yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other comments on this? If not, we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is the Mana Road fire mahalo letters. Chair has requested that the committee sends letters of appreciation to those involved in managing the Mana Road fire. Is there anybody who would like to provide testimony on this? This was the most recent one, I'm assuming, right, that they were that she's talking about. I wish she was here.
Yeah, the most recent
Yeah,
fire?
yeah, so,
No
okay.
testimony?
Or any fire that we've had on Mana Road area.
I'm down for that.
Yeah, okay. Anybody would like to make a motion on that, to have those letters drafted up?
I make a motion.
Okay, any
I
second?
make a motion.
I'll second it.
A second?
Tristy gonna write the letter?
I believe so, with her.
Okay,
Wait,
cool.
Tristy's going to write the letter? Or, okay, so Tristy. All right. Okay.
Did everybody vote on it?
Yeah, we'll vote on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Okay. Moving on, capital improvement project budget requests. This is going back to earlier meetings that we've had, discussion on potentially making, on requesting that the Department of Parks and Recreation include the Waimea Community Center and the a proposed Waikoloa Community Center and gym as specific items in the CIP budget, meaning that instead of a general fund, it's general fund project where it could go anywhere. We'd like to advocate that they have their own line item so that maybe gets some more attention on that, more people looking at that. Is there anybody who'd like to say anything about this providing
my
testimony.
understanding that there's a new hire that started in the last year that's in charge of CIP items. At least Cindy Evans had told me that there was somebody in a department that was specifically working on that. Did that not happen? Oh,
There's a CIP manager that finance hired,
Ah.
and that's what you're talking about?
Right.
But that's separate, that, we were told that that position is gonna be focused more on the implementation side of all this versus like the budget side, the planning normally, traditionally.
has it been filled?
I believe, no? I think it has. I think,
Well,
I
let's
don't know
invite
who-
him here so we can understand better what it goes, and I know I've written CIPs and they disappear after a year. We're still waiting for our, I'm serious, I wrote one for
I think
the
that's a good
second
idea.
access road. I wrote one for a pickleball court before any other community in the county wanted a pickleball court. We asked for one in Waikoloa, and that disappeared, and everybody else got one but us. I mean, this is 5 years ago.
Yeah,
But I don't
it-
know where they go, and I don't know how long they stay on a list, and are there rules and regulations on CIP so we can see that it's still on the front burner? Does it just get flushed, or, nobody
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah, I think planning staff, we can send an email over. She just started.
Okay.
So
So
we'll see when we
include-
can get her to come over to one of our meetings. We'll send over our cadence schedule for next year.
Great,
And,
process and
If
procedures.
if she can come onto the meetings, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Because I would like to suggest she be transparent with the finances in each area with the community. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Can I make a comment?
1 moment, here, 1 moment.
Yep.
I'm a big advocate for improving our parks here in Waimea and Waikoloa. It seems like we have a lot of half-done projects here, and I'm a lifer here as well, right down the street from Auntie over there. The running joke is wherever the mayor is from, that's where the most funds go for parks. That's why Kohala has a swimming pool, and Waimea doesn't even have a county swimming pool. Not only it's real cold over here, but.
I'd love to see a pool in Waimea.
So our district park, right? Our district park is not even halfway finished. This park, thank God for the rain, otherwise it'd be dry as a desert out here as well. Like, I think they need to look at putting in more
Sprinkler.
spaces for our kids here. Every single blade of grass during soccer, during football, during wherever, kids finding anywhere they can practice anything. Even the Mormon church down the road, they let people practice, put up goals and just practice on their big field behind the church, because, I mean, the rugby field is now a soccer field because Waimea Town doesn't have a rugby team right now, right? We ran rugby in Waimea for about 8 years. But yeah, I think if we could figure out how we could get more money to Waimea to support who's already here. The last planning meeting I was here, they want to bring 12,000 more people into Waimea Town to double our population. Where is everybody going to go and enjoy themselves, you know? Like, where, even if 1,000 more people come to Waimea, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? So I think, I don't know, this is probably 50 years in the making, is getting like proper district parks here for Waimea and for Waikoloa. I've lived in Waikoloa since I lived back in 2000, and there was that little tiny baseball field, and like, unless you're 8 years old, you can't play at that baseball field because there's no way to hit the ball, right? So I think, yeah, if we could figure out how we could get more funding for our area, that'd be great.
Thank you. Was there any specific one that you were thinking about? I'm sorry. Or just in general?
Like a specific park?
Yeah.
I mean, I would like for them to finish the Waimea District Park.
Okay.
And if they could do something about the rain that happens. Because I don't know who the civil engineer designed that place, but
Oh, there.
Yeah, because the way they built that building, if it's raining and windy,
Yeah.
you can't play in the gym, right? And we live in Waimea,
Yeah.
where it's
Oh, it just goes
there's
right
less
through.
rain
It just goes right
than
through,
before,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
they closed the gym because the roof leaks, and because it's
like here.
screened, the doors are screened, right?
Uh-huh.
The wind and the rain blow the water right through the gym,
Yeah.
and it's just the way everything's faced, right? So I have a picture of we played a high school basketball game, and I have a picture of the Hilo High basketball team sitting under the boys' little sister's frozen blanket with Elsa. The whole basketball team was sitting huddled up in the corner of the district gym because it was so cold in the gym during the game at night. So it's kind of a weird building to begin with wide open like screens.
Wide open walls, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. But it's half done, you know. And I was thinking about it, if we could have a specific dog park, because people don't clean up their dog doo-doo, yeah, and it's all over Waimea District Park. So if people have a place where they can go take their dogs to a park and enjoy the park, or at least clean up the doo-doo that they leave out here or the district park, that'd probably be good too.
Okay. Yeah, a dog park. Okay. Yeah, if it was actually raining right now, we'd be a little bit wet because of all these leaks that are here.
That's why they included it in the budget, Waimea Community Center.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a question, and it's just because I'm very business oriented and financing is my specialty. Of the $900+ million that we had for the county's budget, and if you're going to divide that within the 9 districts we have here, that's over $100 million. But then, of course, you got to take away all of the salaries of those who work in the county. So then it should be okay then?
No, that's just to keep the lights on and employ staff.
Oh, wow.
That's the overhead.
So that just the overhead is $900 million.
Staffing, facilities, equipment, temporary clothes,
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so just coming back to this agenda item.
How about me?
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Jojo?
we're
This is-
talking about the
this-
Waimea District Park and so many children playing there and so many people in the park using the park. I'd like to figure out a way to get rid of the traffic or slow them down, or for safety for the kids when they got to go from the car on the road to get into the parks, or they're little kids, but there's a lot of cars, so I'd like to echo making a bypass someplace in the back, or up on a mountainside, continue that bypass, which is a long ago plan that was made long time ago. But anyway, there's a problem with the traffic at the district park too. I'd like to add that on too. Thank you.
So you're talking about mitigating traffic at the Waimea District Park? Is that correct?
Yeah, it goes all the way from the hospice through town, past Long's Drugs and the HBA school, all the way to the stoplight.
Oh, are you talking about
this part?
Okay, you're talking about Waimea Community Center.
Right.
Okay, Waimea Community Park, not the district park. Okay, 'cause I was like, there's not that much traffic there, but
And I think with the roundabout that's in plans too, it's going to be contributing factor to that anti-Jojo. So however long that's going to take to be done, then we can see about the safety of the Jojo, but I totally agree.
okay.
And Scott,
Okay.
can I make a comment about the CIP?
Yes, go
Okay,
ahead.
so this is Karen, and so
Yes,
remember,
Karen.
many meetings ago, you all did a wonderful job of approving a $1 million for the CIP for Puako's sewer. It was passed, and it's in the budget, thanks to James. we met with finance and they said, quote, pretty much quote, everything in that, we have no way of funding anything in the CIP budget. So if there is someone that can come and talk to us about how things do go from being approved and put on that long list to making it to be funded would be a really, really good thing. Because what we learned was you can put it on there, but there's no mechanism, there's no process to make it happen.
Okay.
Wish list.
So I think we're going to invite CIP
Yeah.
to come to one of our meetings here very soon. If not the next meeting,
I
then
think also just to mention there's a like indirect benefit by having an individual budget line item in the CIP for these projects, because it kind of brings a sense of transparency to the project status, and then allows the community or other stakeholders to get a little bit more creative with funding. And so it's just a helpful target that we can shoot for in the process, as we tend to have to get more creative, because absolutely most of our CIP money isn't going to be going to a lot of the projects that are on that budget.
Right, so just for us to be able to have a conversation with the person who's, like you were saying, will be really helpful to all of us. But this is just more in support of that suggestion.
okay.
And then maybe turn it into a legislative bill that the county council would have to pass.
Karen, how long has that sewer project been on the table?
Years.
Oh, yeah, we've been talking about it for years, but the $1 million we submitted earlier this year. James probably knows, but I can't remember right now. But yeah,
On the budget? How long has it been on the CDP plan?
Like 19 years, 18 years,
Yeah, since the plan it hasn't been amended since 2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you.
projects
Thank you.
stay on the CIP list for about 4 years, is my understanding. And then they kind of, if they're not completed, then they kind of fall. They roll off. So you got 4 years, once it's listed, to get it going, before it has to be relisted again.
Okay. Any more testimony?
That's great.
Okay, one more here.
I'm just curious as to if they have any volunteers, like if the county provided the materials for the district park and, like to board up the doors and make like awnings on the top so the wind wouldn't blow inside. Would volunteerism be a feasible agenda item that, the community can benefit from that? I mean, like if we get people to put boards on the doors and awnings on the top so the rain doesn't come in, is that possible?
From our experience in Waikoloa, you have to have Friends of the Park.
Yeah,
And then
that's-
you have to have
that's-
insurance, and you have to be a nonprofit, and you have to have everyone sign waivers, because the county doesn't want liability if anybody gets hurt. It's a big hurdle to jump.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I wanted to trim dead grass in the park, and they wouldn't let us do it for the Firewise Committee. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
So this park doesn't have that agreement?
Because it takes community members to want to step forward like yourself, who want to do it, and you have to establish a Friends of the Park. So you go to the department, and you fill out an agreement with them, and you have to meet with them and their standards about what they want in that space. But you volunteer your time, you would also volunteer possibly donations as well, but it would give the community a leg up for sure, so there is a benefit, and it would speed things along too. It just takes time for
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we had approached the Department of Parks about this building and how we could help the project, and they had told us that it was actually on the CIP, so we thought, okay, great. But learning now that the CIP is like this big, huge fund that any project could be done, and your project may or may not happen. But we were asking, like, if we could do something, and we weren't sure what we could do because they were saying that it was already on the CIP project. So we kind of waited to wait and see. But in doing that, I think now that we know a little bit more about that, then we're asking for this. And actually, this part right here is to actually make a motion to request the Department of Parks and Recreation to make line items for these specific ones, these specific projects, so that we can kind of keep track of that a little bit better than just a general slush fund kind of thing. So, would anybody like to make a motion on that?
Excuse me, before we make a motion, can we please add the Waikoloa
Waikoloa.
permanent second road and include DIP and maybe the planning department
Okay.
for CIP money? So, because that was in the last meeting, I requested it. So please add those two.
The second.
Business,
Oh,
mahalo.
this is Jojo. This is Jojo. We can use a playground canopy for our playground in the Kailapa subdivision. Can you add that to the CIP as well? And let us know who we got to talk with to get that project done.
I'm
All we
sorry.
need to do is put it up, put a cover, because Kauai High gets very hot, and the playground has these metal swings and stuff like all the rest of the parks. But there's no cover to shield the sun, so the metal gets hot. So can we add that into the CIP project too, please?
I'm sorry, what was that first part? Where was this?
It's in Kailapa Hawaiian Homelands.
Kailapa.
Yeah,
Hawaiian
Hawaiian
Homes,
Homelands,
Mauka
Kauai
side.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, below the building, right, okay.
Yeah.
Is that part of Department of Parks and Recs?
It's DHL.
Oh, DHHL, so that's different. So it's different.
no, it's not.
Oh.
No, it's not. It is part of the public
So,
works.
but
And some of the funding did come from the county council to build the community center next door. What we need is the cover over it.
maybe a letter.
Just to stand it up and cover the park. And it's not going to be that expensive because we have the material. We just
Okay.
need the money
Separate
to set
one.
it up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
can we add that to the budget as well?
Okay, Jojo. So that's Department of Hawaiian Homelands. So what we'll do is we can do these other ones to the county, Parks and Rec, and then we can do a second letter to Department of Hawaiian Homelands separately to ask to advocate for that.
No, because the building itself came from the county. Okay. It's the county that helped us get that building there. And the county is the one that helped us to get the playground. What we needed and didn't get completed was to put a cover over the playground. So I'm talking, the land is Hawaiian Homes. That part, you're correct. The project is county. It is not Hawaiian Homes.
Okay.
It's the community that's looking for their families, just like the general public looking for their parks. It's the same thing. But the land is Hawaiian Homes. That part you got right. The part that you gotta that I'm asking to put in a CIP is county.
Okay.
And so I'm not off with as far as that goes. The land is Hawaiian Homes, you're correct. But the project that I'd like to get into the CIP is county.
Okay, but we'd probably have to get permission from the property owner. So we would probably have to send that letter to the property owner. And no, what was I going to say? I was going to say, yeah, so it's the property owner that we need to address rather than who is head of that project. So Mariam will take care of that, and she will go research that with the staff to find out exactly who owns that property, and then we'll address that letter to that person or to that entity. Does that sound all right?
Scott, I thought that this motion,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Karen.
I thought your motion was to put a line item in the CIP budget for Parks and Recs projects.
Yes, to the Parks and
That-
Recs.
Yeah, through the parks, such as the Waimea District Park.
Right.
So it's really not about putting things on the CIP right now, as more as getting a specific line item callouts. Isn't that what your motion's about?
Yeah, it's within the CIP.
I'll clarify it for you. It's kind of like a budget, right, that you use for any kind of business. We have all these projects in our area, South Kohala. It would be good if we could be transparent with that financing line by line in each budget, right? I mean, in each project. So transparent where all the community can see where the money's going, how the money's spent. That is what I think is missing. I just say personally, myself, is missing is that transparency of the financing and the expenditures. That's what is missing. I want to know where our money's going, to what project, where it went. I don't want to see $500,000 of overtime when the project is still halfway done, that kind of stuff. So I think when we're talking about transparency or line budgets, it's these actual projects, correct? That has their own line in the CIP, correct? Okay,
Yeah.
that's it.
Are you asking for specific line items for specific budgets, or we just asking for more transparency? on
Both.
Specific line items in general?
Both.
As you started off, it sounded like more of line items in Parks and Rec for a couple of projects. And now it sounds like we're adding and a road here and a cover here. So I'm confused on what the motion is.
In Kailapa's position, the community center
Well,
and its playground is an old project that's not finished yet. So, you know, if we're talking about transparency, where's the funding to complete the project that the county started with the community homesteaders, not the department. The department owns the land, and certainly we gotta have that discussion. But it's finishing the project that's getting old and incomplete. And that's what Kauai High keeps looking for. And if we don't speak up, he is going to pass us by. So it needs to get into the budget again because it's incomplete.
Can I ask you something, Auntie Jojo? We're talking about that neighborhood thing for, what was that called again? When we want to do some improvements in the
Friends of the Park.
Friends of the Park? I think it might be something that would be aligned with what you're trying to do up there in Kailapa and Tijo, is having Friends of the Park, because if you got all the materials and everything, you just need people to put it together, correct?
And I think it's
Well,
on
we
the
have,
website.
but to put it up, you need the equipment, you need the people to put it up because it's not unskilled homesteaders. It's a county funded park. It's a project that they started with the community, but every time you get an election, you get a different president. That's the same way with when you get county council. They don't finish the project and then they forget you there. And we still sitting here waiting. It's an old project. It needs to get completed.
That's what Friends of the Park is all about.
Yeah.
You have people in your community that decide to step up. They start a 501c3. They pay for the funding. Do you know how many thousands of dollars the Pu'unui Park had to get paid from people paying into it, you know, citizens and community members, in addition to the $160,000 grant that we got for the equipment. So, you know, you just have to do it in your community, and then you get approvals, and we had to pay contractors to do a lot of stuff there too.
There you go. There's the
So that's what you need to do. You need to do a Friends of the Park. And maybe we should include having DPR send the information over to us or come for another meeting to tell people how they can start up a Friends of the Park in their communities. Because you're not going to get it otherwise. I mean, we waited 5 years in Waikoloa. Grant equipment sat in a container for 3 years. The county had to buy a container to store it till the Friends of the Pu'unui Park could come up with the money to do all the background stuff, and we spent a lot of time volunteering, so I'm sure Kailapa is going to be in the same position.
Okay.
Just
Karen-
saying.
Before you guys add things to the CIP, you guys should identify all the items first.
That's what he's trying to do. Yeah, yeah.
Couldn't hear that.
Yeah, so that's what he's trying to do. So I think that we need to redirect the conversation back to the motion and
Yeah.
get that done first before we start
Right.
talking about other
One
things.
last thing from Ruth. Ruth?
Yeah, I was just saying that if we're going to prioritize things and we're talking about tsunamis or wildfires, and I used to live in Kohala, so I just don't think this is I don't think it's a high priority. And that's all.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it
this is
is.
just, yeah, this is just.
Look at what happened in Lahaina.
Small thing that we're asking from the Department of Parks, just so that their portion, what they're responsible for, we focus on that just to be able to see, like you said, transparency, where it is exactly. So this is just asking them, Parks and Rec, okay? There's other departments, but we're just it's just an ask. We're advocating for that.
Can you restate the motion, Scott?
Okay, so we're requesting that the Department of Parks and Recreation include the Waimea Community Center and a Waikoloa Community Center and Gym as specific items on their CIP budget. Right now, it's just kind of this general fund. So we just want them to maybe take more notice of this and so that we can ask them, where this is, rather than, oh, it's in the CIP budget and maybe it's going to happen, maybe it's not.
Can we get them at the next meeting, and then we can direct these questions direct to them? Can we get Department of Recs to the next meeting, so
Park
we
and
can, yeah.
Good
Parks and Rec.
idea.
We can ask.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's,
Well,
Or we could take the meeting to them. No, I'm kidding.
We've tried to bring them, I think, all the beginning of this year.
Oh, wow.
They don't quite respond to our emails.
That's for you.
that's right, I'm writing a note.
Just, this should be your item.
yeah, I've noticed that.
Okay.
Kind of different.
Karen, too, I just wanted to, from the original, for the motion, I added the second access road because I printed out a copy of my notes that I read at the September 18th meeting, where I explicitly asked at the end of my time, I respectfully ask that these items be on our new business for the upcoming CDP AC meeting, and it included that, so it was forgotten in the minutes, so I wanted to make sure it got added, so that was why I asked for that to be added to the motion, Karen. I think you were at the last meeting, and I'm
So
sure it's on record
that
on the
one,
video.
it would be a separate letter to Department of,
It would be Department of DPW and Planning.
yeah, Public Works, not the Parks and Rec, though.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
The minutes were shorter, or the
Right.
agenda was shorter. I requested
Okay.
it, but it didn't get on the agenda.
okay,
So I have it, it's on the recording.
okay.
Then Kauai High needs to get on the agenda as well.
Okay, you're all distorted.
Kauai High needs to get
Oh.
on the agenda as well. So that we can be recognized.
Yeah, we're just focusing in on the Parks and Rec one, okay, for this.
Right.
We can add those in for different agenda items, but right now, we're just asking for those specific. So if that, where? What about that?
I don't know what needs to be, maybe the bathrooms have to be repaired, or the water faucet has to be tested for lead, stuff like that. Right? So they're going through that whole shebang in all schools now.
Okay,
Draining the water.
all right.
I think that would be an item 4 coming up, adding all these on there,
Yeah.
so that way we can keep a running, I'd say running list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
thank you,
think-
thank you.
You're right, yeah. I think that those are those
Number
are very
3,
good.
I make a motion.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, yeah.
I second.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, when we get the Parks and Rec people here, we can start drilling down for these other specific things. But right now, we're just asking for these two items. Okay. Okay. And so, motion was made and second, and we can.
All in favor?
All in favor for that?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Motion carries. Okay. So moving on. New committee priority items. We have our 2 newest committee members, Bambi Lau and Awana Wilcox. And if you had any priority items that you would like to share with us, like projects that you might be pursuing?
Yes, Bambi will go
Awana?
first.
Oh, okay. Go Bambi.
Okay, so the 2 I had, we kind of were talking about, so this is good. It's good that the conversation is happening, because one of them, I wanted to see if we could be working with the hotel associations, KCRA, HLTA, and see if we can get them to commit to giving back to the communities by doing community services in the schools, in the parks, whatever it may be. I think it, Kailapa, Anui Nui, all the different parks, Waikoloa, I think it could be something that benefits all. And if we had a list of the projects that we need to attack, and if we worked with the Friends of Anui Nui Park, or Pu'unui Park, or wherever, Kailapa, then we can show them that this is what's needed, this is financial support, if the hotels are willing to do that, this is the work that we need, this is the volunteer hours, blah, 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 blah. That's something that I would like to work on, and of course, I have the capability of working with those people. So that's one. Second one is, of course, the disaster evacuation plans, because I'm very invested in that, not only because I live in Kauai High and it affects me, but also because the fact that I work in the hotel, so I know what the evacuation plans are, and I know where county hotels failed the community in general, and I know how it affects us as a community. So I'd be willing to step up and work with the different parties, the different entities, with KCRA, with HISPA, with the hotels, with the civil defense, to get some sort of plan created. I know we have the mitigation plan, but from the hotel side, get something set in stone so that we can be in agreement, like in this timeline, we know that we're going to be doing this. We're going to support by, if we send the people up to Waimea or Waikoloa, we would be willing to provide bedding or the food or the water or the hotel staff to go and staff those areas or whatever it may be.
Okay.
So that's another one.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then the third one, I want to leave free just in case there's people in the community that have concerns that I feel is important to be able to support and address. So I don't want to choose my third one yet. Is that okay?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
okay. Because Tristy said choose 3, so.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll just do 2 for now then.
I'm sure you'll find another one later.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
here.
great. Thank you. Awana?
I'll support whatever she says.
Oh, you have to choose your
Okay,
own.
no, okay, so, Park and Recs, that's going to be my main center of focus, is getting them to play up here in South Kohala, you know? When I say up here in South Kohala, it doesn't only mean Waimea, it also means, you know, Kauai High, Waikoloa, Puako. We know we live in a distinct and very unique district, so I have never been in the district park gym, ever, since it's been built, right? I don't go Maha'oi where I don't need to be. Unless there's a business for me to go, I go, but I've never gone and seen any of it. So I can totally understand by what is being shared, what needs to be taking precedence. So that would be my main focus. Item 1, 2, and 3 is getting Department of Recs at the next meeting. Unless anyone else wants to add anything, thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. That's from our two newest members.
So what happens next? Does it need to be approved?
Oh, yeah, and I want to add a dog park. I like that idea. Put on a dog park. Where? Right. Yeah.
Right here.
They go up to the district park because there's nothing out in the field.
No signage.
They just run the dogs, he's great. I have had dogs, for a very long time. It's great for them to have a place to run around. But people don't like cleaning up the mess or in specific place that my kid's not gonna go around and play after them. It's dirty.
Maybe that, that's that fenced off area for the dogs to run around.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, great. Thank you. So
Wait, hold on.
Parks
White
and-
Color need a dog park too.
We do.
You need one?
They've been bragging about it in the newspaper
All right.
for many years.
Poco, you guys need a dog park too? Kailapa, how about you? Okay, I just gonna put all 4, 5. Okay, mahalo.
One for each, huh?
Yeah.
One for each. Okay. All right, great. Thank you very much. Julia, did you have anything
Yes, thank
new
you very
directions that
much,
you wanted
Scott.
to put in?
I'm going to reread what I said on September 18th on shortened version, discussing how many people have grown in our community since the 2020 census and compared it with 2010, and stating that Waikolo Community Center was deemed one of the top 2 needs based on a community 2023-2024 project, and Councilor Evans had put forth a financial impact statement for $200,000 stating it was a department priority, addresses public health and safety, quality of life, fills gaps in current services for underserved area demographic, requesting planning, feasibility, engineering, or design study, noting the project urgency is high. In addition to the community center, doubling use for hopefully an evacuation center for our Mackay neighbors in the event of any emergency, our top priority is construction of a second permanent 2-lane road from Waikoloa Village to Queen Kahumanu Highway, fulfilling the transportation and circulation improvements in a timely manner. Despite the following CDP guidelines of working with numerous counselors about Waikoloa's priorities in the South Kohala CDPAC's Waikoloa Village Plan, Chapter 5, current and future plan and development studies, estimates on cost, consultants to develop financing plans, I respectfully request that this item get back on as new business in our upcoming CDP meeting. So we didn't make it in for this agenda, but let's please put it on the next agenda.
Okay.
So that's a priority, the
second
biggest
that.
priority for Waikoloa.
Yeah. I second that.
Thank you. So we can have 2, the community
Right.
and
Yep.
the second access road.
I have a question, and I think it might be good for you, Councilman. When we do these new developments, right, such as Nana Kai, is that the newest one? When they do the developments, do we have that agreement that they should give back to the area that they're building in? Because I know when I sat in the community with the Department of Transportation for the renovation of Kauai Harbor, in their plans, they had to reforest the whole uplands of Kauai, right? And then, the guy's telling me this, that, and the third. Anyway, is that something that could be added into any future developments?
A lot of those subdivisions, so those bigger developments, there is some sort of agreement that's been struck between county administration and that landowner. It varies on what that could look like. So if you take, for example, the Nanakai and that landowner there, they've had some requirements to improve the Kamako Park and invest in that space. They also have, there are thresholds that they also have to hit before they will improve other infrastructure projects too. So sometimes that's an agreement, and I'm just giving you an example of that one. And that particular give back or that commitment is a road. whatever that road looks like. They have in their planned unit development, and the county's gone through, and sometimes the developer will come back and forth and then negotiate what that looks like. And so we've had a couple of amendments of that document, but that commitment that that developer has is either widening Ponyo Avenue from Ho'oko Street School area out to Kohala. Their interpretations is beyond, but that's up for debate. An attorney has to look at that, or an arterial road that goes Makai. So they would, one or the other is their option. So a lot of those larger developments, you know, when they go for entitlements, they go for water, and they go for access, and they go for this, that, you know, they have to, sometimes there's a negotiation and commitment they have to give. You know, sometimes the smaller developments, they have to, it's not called impact fees, but it's something we're talking about at council, what to consider it as we go forward. But there are, typically through the rezoning application and the rezone process of parcels, I'm blanking the term there, but there are funds that have to go to the surrounding community, they go to parks. There's typically a dollar fee associated with that. But those are kind of on the smaller scale. When we're talking about big development, that's when there can be more of a negotiation about what that looks like. And a discussion time of when and how financial mechanisms are in play, those kinds of things. So we have in our county code, one is like a community facilities district, chapter 32, where, you know, the cost of that infrastructure improvement is carried by the new homeowners as they purchase the lot. And it pays off that bond or whatever that those levels and associations go for. There's special improvement districts, there's community facilities, there are different special taxes that are levied on that property through the sales of those parcels to cover those large infrastructure costs. But that's kind of like the secondary step after the county planning and administration, they negotiate with the developers about, you know, access, you know, how does this impact community? Do there need to be improvement in intersections? Unfortunately, a lot of these developments and agreements are dated. And so when it comes to the time when they actually put shovels into the ground and they're actually building, it may have been a commitment that was made a long time ago when the community looks very different.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes the challenge we deal with when projects are moving forward at a certain pace, and when they're happening now, we're like, oh, wait, we're not getting this at the same time we're doing that. So that's something that, you know, administration and council need to kind of consider as projects come forward. Like what can happen now? And then what happens if they never build that last home? Because sometimes the commitment is, and you think about from a business perspective too, like they have to make so much money so that they can put money down to do this or whatever. But sometimes they never build that 200th home or whatever the number may be. It's like, oh, we don't hit that commitment. So interesting. So that's something also to consider. Yeah. A lot of challenges.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a very nice picture.
And I think Waikoloa has two sweet deals because it was Waikoloa land from the Boise Cascade days, and one of them was the Waikoloa Plaza with all the stuff he got, and he didn't have to put anything up, and all the lofts, he doesn't have to pay anything for the community kids to use the park, and I think the same thing's going with Nanakai because Waikoloa land sold that to them.
It's just how we watch those agreements.
So 40, 50-year-old deals.
And the community be attentive to like, okay, there's a new project. Sometimes you have to say that these old plans exist and it's like, we can't go back and change it, but maybe there's a conversation of how many years do we let it go that way before we have a renegotiation happen. So that's
Sunset them, yeah.
And we have to work with our large landowners in our communities, especially North and South Kohala. We have a lot of large landowners that have been in existence for a long time. So how we bring them to the table to have these conversations is part of that question. What they want to do, how they help community, and how community be part of that conversation.
Okay, great.
Thanks, James.
All
Good
right,
stuff.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Do we have any other ones that we're looking at? Okay. Okay, so we're moving on to number 5 on the agenda, report on county boards and commissions meeting. Chair is not here, so the report is included in the, isn't it? It's included in the agenda. She never,
The packet.
and it's included in the packet, though. So if you'd like to go over that information, we'll just move on because.
So just to clarify, the summary that's in the meeting packet actually came from Kohala CDP Action Committee Chair. He was also in attendance, and so he took notes, and he said it was okay to share these around.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't able to make it. Okay, number 6. I didn't know it's this year. Election of the South Kohala CDP Action Committee Chair and Vice Chair. Electing for 2026 calendar year. Would anybody like to provide any testimony on this item?
I don't, but I'm ready for a nomination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, so yeah.
For chair, I'd like to nominate you, Scott, because in the last meetings I've seen, you have gone beyond in research outside of the meeting. So you, chair, for sure. And for vice chair, Karen.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. All right, any other nominations?
I would nominate to keep Scott and Trini in the same positions, or switch if you'd like, because you both do such a great job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We try. Okay. Okay, well, so I guess we could do a vote or not?
People have to accept the nomination.
Okay, accept the nomination.
Christie's not here.
Trustee is not here. Karen, would you accept the nomination for vice chair?
For 2026, I can't. I have family issues that are going to keep me on and off the island.
Okay.
That will settle down after next year, hopefully. So,
All right. What about trustee then? Okay. Okay.
She's not here to accept a nomination.
Okay, so we cannot do that.
Willing to accept chair.
Okay.
We can do that.
We just do the chair right now?
And I
No,
can
anybody else
resubmit another nomination for
For
vice,
chair?
Julie. This one, Julia? Julie? What? No?
Oh.
Thank you.
Actually-
Come on, you're a
actually,
firecracker,
I
Julie.
would like to nominate Bambi
Oh, yes, I
as
second
vice
it.
chair.
What's that?
Vice chair.
This one.
I cannot. I can't.
I'm
I have
good
You
too
can't?
much-
Oh,
I have
okay,
too
you
much.
cannot. Okay.
Thank you.
do we
All
have
right,
to
so-
do it at this meeting, or
No,
can we? wait
no.
until-
Yeah, we could do that next meeting.
Yeah, we definitely need it by next meeting. We can, but January, we're planning to host a chairs and vice chairs meeting, in person to go over some sunshine, Robert's rules. We're gonna have OIP, Corp Council, and we're gonna do some facilitation training as well. And some strategizing as a hui. So, it would be nice to know who is like kind of in those roles when we do those invitations, so people can lock that date in the calendar once we got it.
Should,
That's the only reason why I was telling everybody to do it by the end of the year. Yeah.
But do we have a December meeting?
no, we do not.
We do
We
not
do not.
have one.
Not scheduled, at least.
So it's tonight.
do,
So Scott's the chair.
we just do a chair?
Let's vote for
Okay.
chair.
That's great.
So, okay, so we'll do a vote for chair only at this point, and then we'll move for vice chair for next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess all in favor of myself?
Aye.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Okay, so moving on here. Thank you very much, all of you.
You guys want to do vice chair? If we
She-
have Tristan's not, Julie's not, and Kara's not.
No. So no.
She's not as busy as she
Yes, I
says she
am.
is.
We are-
Yes, I am. I nominate Owana.
No, I have a lot going on, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You can decide.
Yeah.
We'll decide one for
We'll
you
talk.
by January.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to move on to public testimony on any matter that has not been on the agenda at this time. So it's open to public. If there's anything else of concern, now is your time to voice that. Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to, I wasn't at the last meeting, but I just wanted to kind of reflect to a meeting we had maybe 2 meetings ago over at the Hawaiian Homes Hall about, we talked a lot about water situations.
Okay.
I'm not sure if there's anything that's been done with our current reservoir issues that we've had.
Yes, there has.
Okay. And then, yeah, just kind of reiterating what I'm sorry, I'm not sure what her name is, Julie, firecracker over here.
Oh, Julia.
Just reiterating what she's talking about, like, she's really adamant about getting a second road. It seems the more development and the more people you put into Waikoloa Village without it, you open a lot of people to a lot of issues with allowing more development without there first being a road through, right? And if developers are going to promise something, it seems like they got to be held to their promise, or that has to be done before they start their money making, right? Because they're going to make money, and then they're going to cut as much off of it as they can and do it the cheapest way possible. I've worked in construction a long time, so I kind of understand the development. My friend developed a subdivision in Waikoloa. He was responsible for putting in all the infrastructure, roads, everything for his subdivision. But he wasn't tasked with getting any road out of, like, adding a road, you know? So
Yeah.
I think we open our community up to a lot of issues if there's not a road through Waikoloa. There's a lot of people who's going to be trapped in there if something happens, which I think the county should take a long look at. Yeah, so I think just the water infrastructure, the more developments that happen in Waimea, again, there's only one road through town all the way. There's a short bypass road. I know years ago they looked at a DHHL road that went out through Mealani Research. I think the DHHL Association stopped it at the time, citing that they didn't want people going through the lots, and it's actually where the bypass road ends. It was supposed to continue back through there around to Hawaiian Homes, where Kanukaina Charter School is, continue back through Pu'ukapu, onto Mana, out through Mealani, I believe. Shucks, I think I was like 8th grade when that thing came through. But yeah, I think infrastructure is going to be a big issue as we grow as a community. Well,
And I agree with you 100%. You know, it's inevitable that we're going to grow Waimea, but it's so important that it has to pause until we really do focus on these issues at hand. We can't water them because our reservoirs are damaged. We can't transport them because There's a bottleneck when you're coming here in the morning. I see it every day when I take my son to school. And evacuation. They can't come up the hill because there's no second road. So before we can, and I'm a big component on no more people moving to Waimea until these things are fixed and addressed, period. Right, infrastructure is the biggest thing. And I love as much people who want to move here, by all means do it. But then there is there's a set of values that we've grown up here in the island, and we see more people moving here that aren't acute to those values as we are, right? We're amiable, very, very, I'd say, very, very agreeable people, you know? But when we are following by the rules and everyone coming outside aren't, that's where I get frustrated as a person of this community for decades. So back to those stuff, I think it's really important that we do focus on what's been on this agenda forever. 12 years, 18 years, how long has the water reservoir been down? Almost 19 years?
Yeah.
That's so crazy, and that's why I joined this committee, to move these issues through and to assist you in getting whatever we need in our district, you know? Yeah.
Yeah,
Chair?
Department of Water is working on that. They're in the engineering plans for to redo it, because they can't use the old situation there. So they have to do a completely new one. So they are in the engineering on that right now. Sorry? Other than being in that process, I don't have specific.
But wasn't it money also? There's some money that was needed, funding for it as well,
For the
like
engineering.
26 million or something?
Yeah, well, not
State was paying.
the whole thing, yeah. But the engineering is a small part of that. Well, not a small part, but
Right.
smaller part of that.
So the funding for overall would be about 26 million to get that completed?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly on that, but yeah.
Begs me to ask, once we get it fixed, are they going to have insurance for it?
I don't know. Oh, yes, Ruth? Yes, Ruth?
Yeah, thank you. So I just want to, I was one of the people that was on the steering committee in 2007, and then we wrote the CDP. So at that time, and it went before council 2008 and got signed into as an ordinance. At that time in Waikoloa, the number one thing was a second access road. Notice that it still is. And because we don't have that, and because since I've lived in the village for 30 years. And we've gone from about 3,500 people to 7,000. And then now we have Waikoloa Heights coming in, starting their building. We still don't have a second access road. So now guess where our problem is? It's at the intersection. It's a madhouse. And we have all this stuff going on about that. I mean, for me, it's hard that how difficult it is to make progress. And now we have a new big issue, and it is. But we have that because we didn't think the first thing that we committed to or said was high priority a long time ago. So it's a tiny bit disheartening. I don't mean to be fussy.
So, Ruth, in your experience, why haven't we gotten that second road? Like, what would you do differently in these last 18 years?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in my observation, and I don't mean to get political here, a lot of this progress is determined by who's mayor. It really makes a difference. And I think Harry Kim was mayor back in 2008, and that's who signed it, and it moved forward. And I'm not gonna sit here and try to go through all the mayors. But I don't know how we get to be a priority. Waikoloa is sort of considered as an afterthought. And here we are.
And you know what, just to jump in, you know, just because I've seen it, we have to be creative in how we do this, right? Because the county is ever growing, ever evolving. I'd like to say, so I don't hit anybody over the head with the politics stuff, but it's ever growing, it's ever evolving. So you're right, every administration comes in, it always gets, something gets pushed back, some things move forward, right? But I think it's very important that us people come to these meetings, right? People like these two gentlemen, that new guy, these guys here, they're all here to keep themselves abreast of what's been going on, that we can't let 4 years of this drop off of the plan, that it needs to be done. And then if these developers or large landowners here in South Kohala, they need to contribute to it, you know? And that needs to be written in more. And we were at that Mauna Kea stewardship, right? And our kiki, the children on the table said, kanavai, the rules of our environment comes first over everything. And I think that's what needs to be done, transparent in county, is that kanavai, the rules of our environment needs to be first before any permits get given, kind of thing, so moving the rules around. I think being creative in that form would help us out tremendously and take this second road off the list. That's just my opinion.
So do we have too many priorities or things on our list for the county to consider? You know, are they picking the easier ones versus doing some of these bigger, harder ones? If we're trying to think creatively.
They haven't
I
done
think
anything
we'll
in
have to,
Waikoloa.
we'll have to try to get a list, their list of their priority projects and see where South Kohala is on each.
Well, South Kohala is the jewel of.
Chair?
Correct.
Yeah.
You ask anybody where they want to live in Hawaii Island, they want to live in South Kohala, right? They cannot afford to because housing is crazy. So they move out to Hilo, Puna, Pahoa, they move out to Kona, right? But South Kohala seems like we should be the current focus of the growth. I mean, we're the, I mean, I guess the Pahoa area is the, I guess they still might be the fastest growing area on the Big Island. But
Curtistown.
it's the crown jewel of the whole Big Island right here, right where we sit. Right? So it seems like we should have a priority somewhere with someone who is in a place to make decisions, financial decisions, where money goes.
And revenue rise, right? If we're like the highest revenue maker, South Kohala, and I'm including all those, yes.
Right, the real
I'm including all the hotels, which we do get Hawaii County taxes from, that should be cycled into where the district is first before it translates to all other districts.
And the real
I mean-
property taxes.
Chair?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, please? Chair?
Go ahead, Jojo.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the TV. I cannot see who's talking in the audience, and they don't introduce themselves, and you guys don't introduce them. Would you introduce the last two speakers before we get too much farther? I mean, they have some good points, but who's talking?
My name is Noel Lindsay. I'm a lifelong resident of BHHL.
Sorry, who was that again? Who was that?
Noel.
Noel.
Noel Lindsay.
Thank you. And the one before that?
James Eustace,
Thank you.
or James Hong,
Kong.
too.
James Kong.
Yes. And then,
And James Eustace and this new gentleman here, what's your name?
Sam.
Anthony Balsamo. Balsamo, okay.
You had something you wanted to add, real quick?
Secondly, what she said.
Okay.
You know, if this is the highest revenue area for taxpayers, property taxpayers, I think the most attention
Can't hear anything.
Okay.
go to that area.
He's just reiterating what I said about us being, South Kohala, the most revenue producers for the county, that our issues should be addressed first,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
I feel like we need to make more friends.
Okay.
Even if it's like the Department of Rec, Parks and Rec, we need a friend there, we need a friend everywhere that way.
Okay.
More friends that we can.
Yeah.
But they don't write the checks.
We're going to talk about
The Friends of Department of Rec, Parks and Rec, the number 2 is actually, she lives in Waimea. Really? Yeah, number 1 is Honoka'a. So we have friends. We have friends.
Jen.
All right. Thank you very much for all your input there and suggestions. James, did you have anything else?
Yeah, you don't mind if I?
Yep, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know, because I wasn't able to join you at the last one, so I apologize. But I wanted to give some updates, and I try to wait my.
We can't hear James.
This is James Eustace. Oh,
No, we
hang
can't
on.
hear him. Can you use a microphone?
Yes, he's going to sit there for a sec.
Yeah. Sorry, James.
Hi there. All right. All right. Can you hear me there?
We're good.
All right. So I apologize I wasn't here at the last one. Sometimes there's always conflicting meetings on evenings, but thanks for having me here. I just wanted to share some updates on roads, first of all. And I apologize. I didn't want to jump in during different pieces of the meeting because it's your meeting. If you have questions, happy to answer those, but I want you to run your meeting because you're the commissioners here. First up, roads. I get a lot of questions about roads in the district. The District 9 is North and South Kohala. So a lot of our roads are state roads. A lot of our major thoroughfares are state roads. And I often get questions about that, and that's not a problem, but happy to redirect and pull in Rep. Tarnas, Senator Richards, Rep. Lowen, depending on the location of those questions. So, for example, Kohala Mountain Road, that is a state road. Akonepuli Highway, state road. The county up in North Kohala, for example, from Havitown out to Pololu, that's a county road. And of course, all the side roads, if they're not private. Here in Waimea, for example, the main thoroughfare, Kaihai, Mamalahoa, all state highways. A lot of those side streets are county roads. So when we're looking for areas that need improvement or speed humps, those are typically I can help with in directing towards the county side of things. So just to give a high-level overview of some of the county road projects that are happening. Here in Waimea, though it's state highways, there's some striping efforts going on, and some intersection improvements with the lights. So if you're feeling some of those impacts, that's what's going on. There's little things going on here and there. In Waikoloa Village, we've got the main intersection. There's a temporary lighted intersection project going on right now. So there's still on the capital budget and still the overall plan to move forward with a roundabout at that intersection location. But Acting Director Neil Azevedo, now back to Deputy Director Azevedo, he said we can't wait any longer, so he's moving forward with a temporary lighted intersection in that space.
Great.
So all of that road work is happening there right now. He did report at Tuesday's South Kohala Traffic Safety Committee meeting that he's hoping to have that project, he and his team, in the month of December. So they're hoping to have that temporary lighted intersection up and running in December. There are other projects in the Waikoloa area that they're going to go back to. They've done most of the paving efforts in Waikoloa Village. Those should all be pretty much POW at this time. If there are a few areas, let me know. But they're returning back to Paniolo Avenue. There's some improvements they need to do around Luakula intersection. So Paniolo Avenue, Luakula, right after the gas station. On your way out towards the school, they're hoping to put in another raised crosswalk at the intersection of Pu'unui Street. So that's happening on that area. What else can I mention? There are some other projects in the Waimea area with speed humps off on side streets, Hoku'ula, and they're going to be returning back to the Lindsay Road area here at some point to repave and hopefully add in some other safety features for pedestrians and things like that. Nothing big, just some small things here and there. We've also had some good conversations with our homesteading community in Kuhio Village.
typically after we see a road being paved, we see speeding go up. And so community always comes back later and says, we need to slow traffic down now. So have a number of requests in for speed humps, specifically around Kanu, Okaaina, and the school area there. So looking forward to moving some of those projects forward on that. So that's just some high-level road repairs. I know you've had some conversations about the general plan in this past discussions. The general plan is the county's guiding document, a vision document for the next 20 years for the county. And this is a big lift that the planning department has done since 2019, going way back, even before that, 2015. It's taken some time to get on track after volcanic eruptions, after the pandemic, those sort of issues there. But it now sits at council. And over the last few months, council's had an opportunity to sit down with the planning department and really dive into a number of the chapters, the introductory and body chapters. We haven't really talked about the implementation side yet, but we've made suggestions and had dialogue about what we're hearing from community, other things that probably need to be added into the general plan going forward. The council won't pick it up again until it's in special committee. We'll pick it up again in the new year. Councilmember Kirkowitz is the chair of that committee. So we're going back to that and making changes, amendments to the document. Any substantial amendments to the document will have to go back down to the Leeward and the Windward Planning Commissions, and they will review that, and then it goes back up to council again. So there's still some more back and forth, but it sits with council right now. We're kind of beyond any sort of administrative additions or changes, other than working and collaborating with the departments on what else can be added in. But it's really the council and the planning commissions are opportunity to add in things there and make changes. So that's where we are with the general plan. We did talk a little bit about the budget here in this space a while ago, and $937 million is our operating budget. So that's, this is a part of the role of the council where we work with administration. The mayor proposes a budget, both an operating budget and a capital budget. So our operating budget is everything to do with salaries, operations, maintenance of facilities on a regular basis. And that ended up being, for the fiscal calendar year from June, July, that is July, June, $937 million to the operating budget. There really wasn't that much of an increase from the past fiscal calendar, but it increased just a little bit there. The capital budget totals, in this current fiscal year, totals $622 million. So of all the projects, and the capital budget is very specific to one-time expenses or substantial repair costs to projects. And there are criteria that we have to follow, and typically the ones that are legally mandated are the ones that have to go out the door first. And I'll give you an example of that in a little bit here. But this year's fiscal budget from 25-26 budget is $622 million for the capital. Now, the mayor always gets a first go at the budget, working with the different departments, and they propose it to council. Council then reviews it, makes amendments if there are any, and then the council approves it, and we approve the budget from there, and then the mayor will sign it after that, of course. So as the administration looked at the budget, the mayor had added in specific things for District 9. And I'm mindful of the time, so I don't want to keep everyone here too long, but I'll just list these off here. So the mayor added in funding for Spencer Kalani District Park, specifically, and as we talked about, the district park only ever got about halfway done with the first phase. And in the original planning of it, there are 4 phases. And I remember sitting in that meeting at Kohala Town Hall many years ago with James Komata, actually, in that space, one of our park planners. And we talked about that park itself and not having the doors open into the wind. But here we are. So there are some other remediation that we need to do going forward on that. But we only ever saw the first half of phase one ever completed. It was supposed to have two more ball fields, like a soccer field and a baseball field, and a community center. And so what was proposed in the mayor's budget is a community center / shelter. So it's become two things merged into one, like a hardened facility for evacuation, but also and working with the Waimea Community Association and Nancy Carr Smith, there have been some really key individuals in trying to raise private dollars to support public funds, and then also pull in our state partners to kind of really get it off the ground. So that's sometimes the challenge we have with the capital budget and projects is that they're big ticket items, and sometimes we can't, at the county, we can't afford it on our own. So we work with our state partners, or we work with community to fundraise, pull in those philanthropic or private dollars to kind of get it across the finish line. So it's been a big push to do that, and that's been a big priority in the community right now, is to get that done and work with the governor and making sure we have the funding to kind of get that across the finish line. But a hardened facility to kind of assist with what you talked about earlier, Chair, on evacuations in the community and how do we handle that, how do people rally in those spaces, all that. So that's a good conversation going on. The mayor also included funds to redevelop Mahukona Beach Park. There's also continuation of funds for the future of the Waikoloa-Paniolo Avenue intersection with a roundabout phase. So that was to re-up those dollars that had lapsed, so bring that back on the table. There were some small dollars for Waikoloa Road rehabilitation to finish off what was remaining on a few items here or there, because that road was pretty much repaved. There was also funds for an emergency generator at the South Kohala Fire Station, Station 14, down on Queen Kahumanu Highway. There were funds from Mass Transit with a future planning for the Waimea Transit Hub. There was also funds appropriated for O'Uli Ekahi, which is an affordable housing project on Kaihai Road, improving their wastewater facility. They needed for that, drainage issues, renovation issues to kind of bring that facility up to modern standards. And then also Office of Housing had a request, and in their capital budget line was future phasing for road infrastructure in Waikoloa around the county property called Kamakua Nui. So at the end of Paniolo Avenue at Kamakua Park and where the future state library is, there's county parcels, and part of that was funding for part of a road and a mini loop road to kind of get that county land activated for development, for housing, for community spaces, so forth. So that was in the mayor's budget. But as I said, council also gets an opportunity to either amend, make changes. So coming onto the council, there were definitely ideas and definitely things that I saw that, yes, working with the mayor, making those priorities, but they were also working with community that there were things that were missing in there. So I was able to add just shy of $20 million in addition specifically for District 9. So $19.75 million totaling of all these projects. Some of these projects were what you call reappropriated. They had fallen off the list, so a council member needs to bring them back, or the administration needs to bring them back. So I brought a couple of them back. Those include the Kohala swimming pool for $5 million to overhaul the Kohala swimming pool. Some of our more expensive park facilities are pools, and that pool definitely needs help. There are some repair and maintenance efforts going on, but this is really if we need to make major overhaul with it. And some of the conversation was about District Park and more park spaces that are needed in Waimea. Our fields are crowded. So there was, this was not a reappropriation. This was an addition that I added in. Well, it was kind of an appropriation and an amalgamation of past work that had fallen off, but continuing on the expansion of Kalani Shudi Park and pursuing those ball fields. So another $5 million there. Also reappropriated $500,000 for a dog park in Waikoloa, $500,000 for a dog park at Kamehameha Park, $250,000 to continue efforts with the Waimea Trails Project. And then as you've talked about here in this space and working with Karen Anderson and the Puoko community, I added in $1 million to kind of get going on the Puako sewer project. And then the other two new projects that were critical for Waikoloa and critical for the conversations at the CDP, and me attending these meetings as a community member for a long time, hearing these concerns, were about the Waikoloa Second Road. So I added in $2.5 million for the planning and design for a Waikoloa arterial road. And this was the first time that any public dollars were kind of pointed towards a second road for Waikoloa Village. And then also $5 million to widen Paniolo Avenue from Ho'oko to Kamakoa. Now, the reason I put both of those in there goes back to the conversation we had before about that developer in that area. They have two requirements that they can hit one or the other in there when they build out their community. One was to do the arterial road, a second road, or the other was to widen the road. So I put both in so that the county can go after one or the other, so that we're on the same page as the developer, that we activate one or they activate one, that we're working in tandem, or we take the more cost-effective one, or whatever the case may be, but it gives administration, the mayor's office, to go after and kind of say, hey, look, we've got the green light to do something like this. So it was critical to kind of get that in there and work with the Waikoloa community on that. So $2.5 million for the planning design for the second road, $5 million for widening Paniolo. So those were the additions that I added into the budget. One thing I do want to mention is something that we're talking about at council quite a bit, is the constraints we have on the budget. So while we have the operating budget at $937 million and one fiscal calendar year of the capital budget at $622 million, we're not going to see all those projects break ground tomorrow, right? And particularly because the county safely allocates about $50 million for capital projects every year. So $622 million is this big ask from all the communities across the whole county and island, but we safely really only use about $50 million a year to go after and take some of those projects off the list. And of course, more get added on the list, but so that's the challenge. On top of that, at the county, we're looking at extreme and major expenses and funds going towards the improvement and overhaul of our wastewater facilities. And I think you've seen this in the news. This has been conversation community about our Hilo wastewater treatment, our Kealakehi wastewater treatment, even Kohala too. There are some municipal facilities that have not been brought up to standard for a long time, and we have legal mandates to improve those facilities because they're dumping effluent and waste into our nearshore fisheries, into our reefs, all of these challenges. And so we are legally mandated to improve those facilities. So we're going to be making substantial investments, upwards of, at a peak in the next couple of years, we'll be investing about $200 million at a go. But that's 1 year, 200 million, like every year is about $300 million just in those alone for those projects. So it's an area we've never really been in the county in terms of what we have to invest in those particular facilities. At the same time, while we're doing that for Hilo, Kealakehi, and Kohala, I'm worried what that will impact on the other communities and the elbow room or leeway we have on improvements that are needed in other rural communities or communities that those projects don't even touch. So I definitely have concerns about that personally. So it's really a partnership between community groups, the boards and commissions, myself, to advocate for the projects that you prioritize, we prioritize together to make sure that those stay on the top of the list as we compete for dollars in other spaces, for sure. I think I will leave it at that for now, but been definitely doing a lot of different work at the council level too. I have a bill right now, Bill 103, just introduced it to council yesterday. This is looking at our ag property tax program, our agricultural property tax program, that there were big updates and changes a couple of years back that the council made amendments to and proposes and went into effect. The ag property tax, a lot of our farmers are kupuna, right? We don't have a lot of young farmers anymore. And some of them don't actively farm the way they did, or no longer want to, or their keiki don't or can't, or the farmers said, this is the lifestyle I did, so my keiki don't have to do it, because it is a hard lifestyle. And we are seeing, you know, some of the kupuna farmers, they want to age in place. So Councilmember Kibble and I co-sponsored a bill to look at the end span of the agricultural property tax program when people transition out of active ag. If you're no longer actively farming, ranching, the assessment and valuation of property goes right to market value if you leave the ag program. If you walk away from it, it gets assessed right at market value, which is a challenge because it's not, you know, these individuals aren't making, you know, lots of money hand over fist. They've worked hard their entire life and they live on the property typically. So this is an opportunity to put a cap on it and then only increase 3% every year as they leave the program. So if they've demonstrated active ag, it would put a cap. Instead of jumping right to market value, it only increases 3% every year in valuation.
For a land of like 10 acres.
Yeah, so
Be under.
Yeah, so the active ag, you have to be within the agricultural tax program, whether the dedicated ag program for 10 years, or you've demonstrated, the way it's written right now, you have to be active for 10 of the last 15 years. You have to be age 65 and older. So there are some criteria. As our kupuna no longer want to farm, then as they age up, this is an opportunity so they're not going to get hit by a large tax assessment on their property. Yeah, so it's kind of an abatement. It helps kind of safeguard them as they age in place, or an opportunity to slowly move out of that space, maybe find someone that can farm it, ranch it, they can lease it out, whatever that
How
means.
about their children?
They have to be on the, whoever's named on the homeowner exemption status. So that's one of the criteria. You have to be named on the homeowner exemption status. So really living on the property, and then whoever takes over the home and the homeowner's exemption going forward. Yeah.
Because I can tell you firsthand, ag, whew,
Yep.
it's a lot of money just to run a 10 acre.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So this was. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to point out to you in the roads, Kauai High, in Kailapa, and the rest of Hawaiian homes, the roads that we have in our subdivisions are county. And
Yep.
that's why I'm looking for the evacuation road, because it's a county authority. Now, they also take care of the roads. We got so many streams and gulches, and if they overflow because the county doesn't do their job, it goes on a highway. Now, the highway is state. So that part, you're correct. I just needed to include that Kauai High, in the beginning when they made the CDP, they totally did not include Kauai High because they said we were federal and state, which was not true. So I need to make that clarification again that we are. We have the water line, and that is county. We have parking and the bus. The bus comes through Kauai High, that is county. We have police, we have fire, so please don't count Kauai High or the homesteaders out of this definition of county jurisdiction, because we are county as well. And that's the part that I'm bringing up to this committee, is the county part. I'm not asking about the state part or the federal part. I'm talking about the county. So I just needed to make that correction so that you know. Thank you.
I just wanted to add in a couple other things that that I've been working on specifically, and then a couple things that the council's also been talking about recently. Also sit on an ad hoc committee looking at affordable housing. So we have conversations going on about that. We're presenting legislation in the new year on that. We've also just brought in a new county auditor. The county auditor is a critical role. We just appointed her yesterday in council, where it gives the legislative branch an opportunity to see how the administration, if you talk about transparency, the auditors that.
What's her experience like?
She's an auditor, she's a past auditor.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
We've
yeah.
had-
and
yeah.
has legal expertise as well.
Good.
So it's critical for us as a legislative branch to understand how the departments are spending their money,
Good.
whether the programs are functioning, So we just brought a new auditor on yesterday.
Nice.
So that's the last one stepped away. Also working on legislation with Councilmember Kimball on wildfire mitigation. So we're having that conversation, just the two of us, looking at different partnerships on what we can do and other counties are doing, other municipalities, and what we need to do here. So that's some forthcoming stuff there. And then at council, just for the radar, for everyone's knowledge here, we also had some conversations recently about the Civil Defense Administrator and specific qualifications for the Civil Defense Administrator. We never really had any qualifications before, so we've had some good conversations about that. That was Bill 89.
Nice.
Bill 52.
Wait, Bill 89, huh?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
So the senior tax farmer abatement one that I talked about was Bill 103. Bill 89 is the Civil Defense Administrator qualifications. I just brought a bill forward for the Veterans Advisory Committee to expand their member qualifications. Bill 96 just got finalized and approved yesterday. But the other ones that are still active the one that just got approved yesterday actually is Bill 52, allowing small henneries or chicken coops or hutches on residential properties. If you have ag property, not a problem, right? You can have any kind of livestock there. That sort of is not really an issue. But residential properties have higher restrictions. So Bill 52 allows and allowed, and it's going to go to the mayor's desk next, on homeowners in residentially zoned areas to have a small clutch of hens, chicken hens, ducks, and quails. No roosters, but female, egg-laying birds on residential properties.
And if they need them, they can get them from,
Oh, yeah, sure.
What about HOAs, though?
Yeah, I know.
Does that trump the HOAs?
Well, the HOAs will probably have to have that conversation about the HOA laws are different, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We also had some conversation about allowing residential use in mixed commercial industrial zoned areas. They're not a lot. There's some in Waikoloa of this type of zoning, but more in Hilo and Kona and some of those areas. And then the one that we're still having conversation on is Bill 83, and this is about prohibition on single-use plastics for foodware and serviceware, kind of continuing that conversation. So just wanted to highlight a few of those there, just so the community and the commission knows about that. I did have a conversation, and happy to have more and bring the department. I know sometimes it's hard for the commission and this body to bring sometimes administrators to these spaces. Happy to work with you on that. I did bring Parks Director and our Office of Housing Administrators to a meeting back at the end of October. Had them at Keck, talked about parks in the area and housing in the community. So happy to work with you if you have other requests or challenges in bringing administrators. Happy to work with you on those sort of efforts.
Sorry, just to back up a little bit,
sure.
can I have
Sorry, I threw a lot at you there.
No. I have dog parks here that
Yep.
I'd like. So you have one that is going to Waikoloa,
Good question. I know where you're going to ask now.
Right.
Yeah.
and then one to Kamehameha Park in
North
Kohala?
Kohala. North Kohala. Yep. So those were both that had lapsed, and so I reappropriated those.
Okay.
There is a conversation going on about the Waimea location. We need to identify the most appropriate space, because the district park, probably not the best place. We have ball fields, we have kids running around, kukai all over the place, whatever the case may be. There is a volunteer group that is really good about trying to police that area. But we need to I've asked them to look at the rules in the code about what a dog park really should be and those requirements. It has to be properly fenced, has to be all these sort of things. And there is language in our code about what a dog park requires. And that's really just a temporary agreement that they have at Parks and Rec right now. But trying to work with them and Parks and Rec on a more appropriate space. I am considering there is a inactivated space in Waimea that is a future park, and that is actually between Sandalwood and the transfer station or the dump. So there's a green space there that we could activate for other park uses that doesn't have all the ball fields and play recreational fields, and maybe that's the most appropriate one. It connects to the trail, future trail in that area, so ongoing conversations about that. Yeah.
But right next to Humane Society.
Oh, well, that's a good conversation.
I'm just kidding.
No, it's a question. We don't have Humane Society in Waimea, though.
Anymore?
No, so it's a conversation we're having with Parker Ranch. The county's having Parker Ranch about the old drop site, and it was a Humane Society. It was Rainbow Warriors at one point, Rainbow Rangers. But the county's having some conversations with Parker Ranch on reactivating that space.
Nice.
So that's kind of something ongoing as well. Yeah. But it's
Do you
needed.
have a list of everything at your office?
Happy to sit down and talk about all these sort of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think you have a newsletter too, so.
I have a newsletter,
So-
do social media updates, all that kind of stuff, so,
Yeah,
yep.
great.
Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing all that information, and
Is there any plan to have like fallow fields and some kind of grant that we can issue to get all these fallow?
Can't hear this person.
Are being used?
Any grants?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
to get them back into food production and stuff like that.
For specifically our ag lands?
Yeah. 'Cause I
USDA.
Some
Yep.
places have a lot of ginger and just wheatgrass, and just sitting fallow, like they're
Yep.
not being used. So is it possible?
James, what's the question?
I'm trying to get the question here. It's looking, Mr. Kong is looking for ways we can support farmers and agricultural lands to reinvigorate and reactivate some of those spaces. A lot of those dollars either sit at the state level or the federal level. We have smaller dollars at the county level to help with some of that. But I've worked with the Kohala Food Hub, and they kind of, it trickles down to some of the farmers, so there are other conversations going on about that. But research and development they awarded some grants recently. I didn't know if I've seen ones actively for ag use, though. It's really more for resilient communities and outreach and business direction and things like that. But
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't, not so much at the county level, Mr. Kong.
So those land would be at full market value with their fallow.
Yeah, if they're not, yes, if they're not actively farming it, and if they're not in the ag property tax program, like the dedicated ag or the short-term ag, yeah, they're assessed at a higher value. I mean, it's not the same valuation as a residential property, but they would be the maximum at the ag value, though, because the ag tax program reduces it below that. But if they're not active, then that's an issue. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
thank you.
Thank you very much, James, and thanks for sharing. And thank you all for being here. I'm going to move on real quick. We're proposed new business. I'll approach you individually about that, and we'll go for that for the next meeting. Other than that, announcements. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays for the next month or two here. And if there's no objections, I would like to adjourn this meeting. I am sorry for the overtime here, but it was good. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Aloha.
Thank you.